bigger. Shaking hands, making moves in the mover. Visa, then a plane right to ya. Peace out, she'll kill you like Uma. She skipped away to the shop, and she found she didn't let me know. She cooked him looking right at her and sucked on a lollipop. She skipped away to the shop, and she found she didn't let me know. She cooked him looking right at her and sucked on a lollipop. Need some money, paid him with the knees up. Yeah, later, started to ease up. Got her own way, shouted out, see ya. She skipped away to the shop, and she found she didn't let me know. She cooked him looking right at her and sucked on a lollipop. She skipped away to the shop, and she found she didn't let me know. She cooked him looking right at her and sucked on a lollipop.
So here in Diagolon, we only watch Edgy D TV every Tuesday on the EdgeStream. You better be there. I'll be watching.
Welcome to the EdgeStream, the edgiest live show I know. The following show is a satire, and all characters appearing are fictitious in nature. Any resemblance to real persons living or dead are purely coincidental. Narcs are not welcome. Viewer suicide is advised.
I heard the fuck boys they wanna. I finished up the I guess the niggas heard that I'm edgy. I guess they all heard that I'm edgy.
You edgy. You're now tuned in to the edgiest guy I know.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the EdgeStream. It's good to be back. Woo! I am here with my co-host for the night, not Day of the Rake, not Nathan Smith. I put that in the promo, but unfortunately he had to bail out at the last second, which sucks because I love his analysis. He's a really smart guy, really cool guy, and he really wanted to come on. We're talking about it for a week, but we have Ferryman's Toll on, who is great analysis, funny guy. You're doing this, what, 3-4 times a week, man? Like, you have such a good output. Plus the memes on top of it.
Yeah, it's been a lot recently, especially, it was like the last week, Thursday I was on V4F, Friday I was on Red Ice, Sunday stream, Monday stream. So
that's awesome, man. Red Ice has always been one of my favorite for many years.
Yeah, I really like Henrik's take on things. So I listen to them a lot. I find he's very down the middle in terms of the way of looking at things. So yeah, I was glad to be on it.
Hell
An
yeah,
honor.
hell yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Maybe just a little bit of a preview of what we're going to get into. Of course, there's the Emergencies Act public inquiry, and there were more names mentioned. And when there's names mentioned that might be ours, then we're going to say something about it. And we're going to correct the record because these people do not know what the fuck they're talking about. It's actually hilarious. And honestly, it's just more content for us. Like, this is what it is at this point. It's just like, bro, that was like 6 months ago. Like, we're on to new things. Kanye is wilding out. Or, sorry, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is wilding out. We're on to that
I thought
now.
he was formerly known as Yeezy.
Jesus? I don't know. Apparently, he was going to name his album that he named Ye Hitler. This is a new CNN report, so we'll get into that. This is going to be fucking really entertaining. So yeah, we have a weekly Ye update. We're not going to spend too long on it because I've done the deep dive into Ye. I really appreciate what he's doing. Not that he was about to name an album Hitler or anything. I think that's kind of funny, but I don't even think that's necessarily true. I think that's just more of a hit piece. Anyways, we'll be talking about some Ye. We're going to be doing some Ye tonight. We'll also be talking about the feds backdooring social media. So there was a bunch of subpoenas that went out for whatever reasons. Everybody's trying to press the government nowadays. I think this might have been in Alabama where a lot of this information was uncovered. But anyways, it seems that the feds, the Department of Homeland Security, has its own login for Facebook and Instagram where they can go and report whatever they want. They could report people they don't like. They could escalate what they think is a threat or misinformation, a possible threat in the future, due to apparently misinformation is not the only kind of information. There's more. So there's more kinds of information. There's misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, and they're probably going to make up more in the future. So we'll get into that. And we'll also connect it to what's going on in Canada because they're doing parallel things in Canada here. And also, one of the biggest stories in the news is Paul Pelosi getting attacked with a hammer by a lunatic. Is he on the right? Is he on the left? Who knows? Everybody is trying to push him over to the other side. But there's tons of contradicting evidence either way. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Were they butt buddies? Paul Pelosi, the 82-year-old man, and the 40-year-old nudist, what's his name? David DePappy? David DePappy. Oh, okay. Were they fucking? That's the question everybody wants to know. And
I don't know that that's really the answer that I want here, or the question that I have is whether they were.
I want them to be fucking. They're all disgusting degenerates. I want to point the finger at them. What are they going to sue me for $1 trillion? Fuck you. Anyways, we'll get into that. Should be fun. It's going to be a fun stream. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. We got a bunch of people watching. That's good. Colbert's mom. Good to see you. Diagonal Clips throwing up them slashes. Jordan Matt. Plaidsmith. Hello, bigots to you too. Here to help spread the light 420. Scummy Mofo. OGTFNO. Let's go. John Doe. Making fun of my music. Can't listen to this damn Cirque music.
Oh, it's not Cirque music, though.
No, that's MIA. She is one of the most based musicians, one of the only famous musicians speaking out right now. We'll get into that in a second, but you put some respect on her name and you stop speaking about women in such a negative tone. That's misogynistic, okay?
I thought we were the MGTOW Party of Canada now.
I'm not allowed to speak about the MGTOW Party of Canada anymore. I got a visit. Also, the Incel Party of Canada that I tried to start is scrapped.
Wait, are you serious? You got a visit?
Well, let's just say I'm not allowed to rent Home Depot vans anymore.
Oh.
But anyways, I've now been mandated to have a new segment called The Woman of the Week. So, it is what it is, and we'll try to make the best of it, okay?
Right on.
We have Kirsten in the chat. She's a woman. I do have apparently 20% women watching this when I looked at my audience demographic. So
Really? That
Yes.
high for you?
yes,
20%
exactly. That's what I thought.
25.
Most
Wow.
politics guys have 95% males, which is normal. But I guess the ladies love Edgy D. They love Ferryman. Hey all dag. She says hey all dags / ets. See, she was inclusive in her greeting there.
Yeah.
It just reflects the diversity that we have here on the EdgeStream.
Yeah. All two genders.
Yeah, all two we encompass all two genders. There's probably some lurker in the chat that's of one of the other 72. We'll ban you once we find out, okay? Anyways, let's check out Entropy. People are congregating on Entropy. It's the new hangout apparently, where you could send me donations. I do a lot of preparation for these streams, so if you want to compensate my time for the entertainment I give you, feel free to give any donations. And also, I know Diagonal Clips always has the give send go for Rage, so throw that in the chat too, because that's somebody who really needs some help. This is my choice to do this. He has no choice but to be in jail right now, to be a political prisoner. So definitely give him money if you can. And give me money if you can. Spare me a couple bucks.
It's true though. Man, there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff. So yeah, give Edgy D some dinero.
Some Monero? Yeah, Monero. It's untrackable.
Sure, whatever. I said dinero, but sure, Monero.
What is dinero?
It's Mexican for money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was something like
When
that.
I say Mexican, I mean Spanish. I just wanted to say it in a more offensive way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, that's actually not correct politically.
Well, I didn't say wetback.
Right. At least you weren't saying spick bucks or something like that. That would be inappropriate.
Big bucks.
Yeah.
All right.
Mark 306 saying, "What's up, boys?" Al Stern throwing up some slashers. Al Stern kept this show afloat last year. I would be eating out of I eat out of the garbage anyways, but I would have been eating even more out of the garbage if it wasn't for Al Stern. Boiling Frog, good to see ya. Oh yeah, you can also donate via transfer at ragingdissident@protonmail.com. Is that true? Can you actually do that, Al Stern, to help Rage? I don't...
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get into the show. As we were saying, MIA, fantastic woman. If you don't know who that is, this is the woman who made the song Paper Planes. Just a brief recap. We're not going to play the whole song, but you guys know this song. Right? This chick, this was when I was growing up. Right? I think she's from Sri Lanka. But get money. All they want to do is see, pretty bass. However, she has been taking quite the character arc in the last year or two or so, and it seems like a lot of normies are it actually saw Rachel Gilmore reading about, "No, Maya, don't spread disinformation, no." And I was just like, yes, spread that misinformation. Fuck her. Yes. And this is her latest scandal that she's got in. "I cannot believe you would do this." Fans gobsmacked after MIA posts picture with Candace Owens.
It's
so I love a good normie ring, and then you just see two beautiful women standing there. Here's a scary picture for Halloween. # free speech. And there she is, standing there with Candace Owens, I've already slapped a heart on it. Now, last week, Candace Owens was my official Woman of the Week. And now I've been eyeing MIA for a while. I've been like, she's pretty fucking cool. And I was like, maybe she'll be next week's. And then she goes and does something like this. My God.
Just when I think you couldn't get any cooler.
Sorry, what was that?
Just when I think you couldn't get any cooler, you go and do something like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the woman who said George Floyd did not die from a knee on his neck. And she's sticking her neck out.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I did it by accident. It's just God spoke to me like God spoke to Kanye. Anyways, that's our Women of a Week. Congratulations, MIA. I hope that you escalate this further. I hope that you start collabing with Kanye. Why not?
Ooh.
Candace, hook that up. Hook that up.
I'd like to see that. Yeah. I think she should be Woman of the Week just because she made Rachel sad.
Right, that was a couple weeks ago. But it's been in the works for a while now. She's built up, and that moment, that was perfect for a Woman of the Week.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Yeah, Rachel, she's not yours.
You know what?
Piss
though?
off.
It's funny too because it's like when people get, they get pissed off because one of their, celebrity crushes or somebody they love starts, saying things they don't like. It just reminds me of the meme, right? It's like first time, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's like literally like Robert De Niro's the biggest numpty head when it comes to politics, and he's like my favorite actor, like The Godfather, fucking all these different, or The Godfather Part 2, sorry, Goodfellas, Casino, all these movies were some of my favorites growing up. Once Upon a Time in America, and he's just the biggest fucking retard. He doesn't get it at all when it comes to politics. James Woods, though, he's fucking based.
Yeah, James Woods, man. Funny.
Right? So, these are two beautiful, smart, sexy women. And you know me, I'm what they call a sapiosexual. That means that I find intelligence sexy. I can get down with that. That gets me turned on.
We seek out the traits in our partners that we lack. So that makes it perfect.
And I see you're very smart, but I'm not attracted to you because that was a good joke, but I'm not gay, so fuck you. But however, I will be able to contain myself, or at least I'll try, because as we all know, this is officially the first day of No Nut November. Ferryman, are you participating? Are you a participant?
Man, you gotta harness your vril.
I'm so glad that you said that. I was going to be like, oh, I'm not an incel. I thought maybe you were going to be like that or some kind of douchebag. But no, this is the way to go. To be honest, I've already been harnessing my vril, and it's only going to the poor woman that is appropriate for me. She's going to get all this vril. But until then, there's none of this disgusting pornography that they're putting out there. I'm going to harness my energy, and it's only for the right people. And that's what No Nut November is all about. It's also about not engaging in that dopamine black hole that everybody gets into. Harness that vril.
Yeah. I've done it 2 years in a row. Of course I'm going to do it again.
That's fucking based. Now, I feel like the first week or two, you're like, what is going on? Like, you're like mutating out of a haze. But then after a bit...
I'll just say, I don't watch porn, so, like, ever, so it doesn't really affect me that way, if you get what I mean.
Well, I don't really... I never really before watched porn that much. But, you still gotta clear the pipes sometimes. So I thought that it was all ridiculous. But then, like, a while ago, I actually was like, maybe there is something to the semen retention. They're always trying to block stuff and say that it's pseudoscience, and, they're not going to promote this in the media even if it was good, because they want people to not have self-discipline. And, they're trying to, like, corrupt people sexually and all these things. So, No, I think there definitely is something to it beyond that. And yeah, it is. I think this is something every guy should do, especially if they are going down those dark rabbit holes.
Yeah, do it. All of that. It's a requirement for Diagolon.
Exactly. And you should never be watching porn anyways. Like,
Plus, like, let's just be honest here. Touching dick is gay, so jerking off is gay. Right?
It's very true. Yes.
This is why I always sit when I pee, because I don't want to touch dick. And if you stand and pee, then you have to touch your dick. So I sit when I pee because that's not gay.
I thought I was just lazy, but now that you've given me an excuse to not be gay at the same time,
yes,
that's
exactly.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the information that us abstainers, or sorry, us retainers, because we're not abstaining. We're gonna give our vril to the right women. So right. Yeah, us retainers, we impart this wisdom upon each other because we are on a higher level. We are on the next paradigm. You know, all these coomers don't even know what we're talking about. Yeah, all the libertarians in the chat just being like, "What are you talking? What? No, coomer, ain't got time for you."
It's just like, you know, if people, you can make all the arguments you want that, you know, it doesn't do anything. I don't care. You're just a pussy because you can't do it. You have no discipline. That's why you're mad about it, because you know you're gonna fucking fap one out. You can't handle it. You're not.
And
strong
especially
enough.
if you're watching porn, you know what they used to call that in the good old days? A Tom Peeper. You know, you're going to. Yeah. If you want to watch people have sex, you should have to go up into a tree with binoculars and fap one out there. This ease of access with technology, it's really destroyed humanity.
Yeah, if you want to watch other people fuck, there should be a risk that you're going to go to jail for it.
Exactly. Yes. Make Tom Peepin illegal again. Anyways, that's the No Nut November challenge, and I guess we got to do one for the women, like no flick February. How about that?
No flick.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make everything 50-50. I know there's 20% women watching, so.
What about no dildo December?
Yo, even better.
Yeah, there you go.
I knew I could count on you, Ferry. Anyways, I do want to send out an edgy alert. It's kind of like an Amber alert, except for it's specifically regarding me. If this person tries to contact you, or if I seemingly try to contact you and I'm saying something like this, just know...
I don't know who's doing these, but they're all the same. I've got one from Derek from War Campaign, and it's like, I actually talk to these people. They never talk to me like this.
Right. It says, "Hey, greetings. Had to reach out to my subscribers. What's your thought on the upcoming world financial crisis?" And then this person says, "Is this the real Edgy D?" Oh, yeah. Awesome. I'm not sure what you mean by world financial crisis, but I'm not too worried about it. And then blah, 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 buy XRP, something. Do you understand? No.
Do buy XRP, though, because I have a lot
of... Is it good? What is that? Is XRP link chain?
No, XRP is the...
Isn't that the one that went way down?
The company is Ripple. It was one of these ones that in like the 2017 bull run, it went to
was
like
this
$5.
You?
No, it's not me. I don't do this shit. I haven't looked. I don't even know what XRP's at right now, but I know that I'm just holding it because it'll probably go up again. And if it doesn't matter because I already made a shitload off XRP. But like I got in for the 2020 bull run there in like July, and I had a lot of XRP, and I sold a lot of it, but I still have quite a bit. So XRP is like their whole thing is to be like the cryptocurrency for central bank remittance payments. So like there's all kinds of great things about XRP, but anyways, it's not a crypto show. But do buy XRP and
okay.
Make
Wow. Maybe we'll talk about that after. I'm interested. I need to make some money. I'm in for some quick flips. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
Meet me with that bull run, boy. I always get in after the bull run. I'm like, ooh, what's going on here? Let me clean up the scrap. Oh, fuck. Whatever. Just know that if someone's messaging you like this, it's not me. If anything, it would be like me giving you a malicious, like, porn link. But it wouldn't be like a porn link that I'm jerking to. It would be like a funny porn link. Like
a Nancy Pelosi parody porn video.
yeah, something like that. Or a drag syndrome orgy. Is that too much? I don't know. Where's the
That's too
line
much,
with it?
dude.
It is. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, I didn't know. You know, we live, we learn. I don't know what that sound effect's supposed to mean, but all right. So I just want to put out that edgy alert. I don't want anyone to get scammed. Do click any links if it's actually me sending you it, because it's probably going to be pretty good, as you just heard. I'm going to play you now a clip from the public inquiry for the Emergencies Act that has been going on. Here, I'm going to take a little break here, and I'm just going to play this in full, because pretty much the full thing is relevant. But, yeah, they're kind of talking about us here, so listen closely.
This is a text message from a fellow by the name of Alexander Cohen. Are you familiar with him?
It does ring a bell, sir.
Okay. He's with Minister Marciano's office, Minister of Public Safety, and it's between him and Mary Liz Power. Are you familiar with Mary Liz Power?
Again, the names aren't ringing a bell.
Okay. She's with the Prime Minister's office. So I'm just going to read that to you so you have an understanding. And this is from about the 24th, on or before the 24th of January. And it says, I got a quick response. People are into it. Let me know if your boss is too. Happy to help however I can. This is what I sent through, though, by the way. Hi, I just had a chat with Alex at PS, meaning Public Safety, who had a bit of an interesting idea. As you saw in the Pod Goals chat, the truckers' convoy and some of their more extreme comments, in brackets, i.e. calling for a January 6th style insurrection, close brackets, are getting more coverage in the media. Alex was surveying whether there'd be interest in his boss doing some media on this eventually. He was chatting with Mediciano about it right before he went into the cabinet retreat. Now, I can tell you the cabinet retreat was on the 24th. That's how I know it was before the 24th. I think there could be an opportunity to get in on this growing narrative of the truckers, particularly with the research that LRB is doing into their backers. My thoughts of the framing here would be similar to what PM/Blair, meaning the Prime Minister and Minister Blair, said last year when January 6th occurred. And the first thing is, our democracy is something we need to nurture and protect every day. Now, that text message then continues, we will always support the right to peaceful protests. Some of the call that organizers of these events are making are concerning, and we're taking them seriously, in brackets, would need something to back this up, close brackets. We'll continue to monitor the situation closely. The fine line to walk would be to ensure we are not looking like we're directing the police, which obviously is not the goal here.
So they're pretending to not look like they're monitoring the police when they are?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that text message.
Right. And so they call it him, first of all, Marciano, which obviously they mean Mental Marco, Marco Mendicino, the Minister of Public Safety. He's the guy who said, we have a militia that's like highly organized. He's like very bumbling. He reminds me of like the dumb guy in the mafia movies, like in the mafia crew, just like trying to bumble through it. Like, oh, okay, boss. But either way,
this guy backdated court documents to a date that doesn't exist. He's a fucking moron.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, did you not hear about that one?
No, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't know about that.
So this was like they were going to investigate. Well, sorry, there was a vote to investigate this whole situation where he basically, I forget how to explain this properly, but basically what he did is he submitted documents that were falsified in date, and the date that he put on it was April 31st, which doesn't exist. So he just Anyways, they were supposed to, or they had a vote on whether it should be investigated. And obviously the Liberals voted, no, we're not going to investigate this corruption because
Everybody knows 30 days, half September, April, June, and November.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my
Mark was an
goodness.
idiot. He's like a fucking Corey and Trevor, man. He's a fall dummy. Like, he's a jail dummy.
He's like a Paulie Walnuts in The Sopranos.
Yeah, like he's just jail cover, man. That's exactly what he is. And they've already tried to do this in some like, I mean, not to go off on a huge tangent here, but like, how does he still have a job? How has he not been like, at least if at the very least you would have expected them to shuffle him out of that position. But like, if we had any justice in this country, he would have been fired months ago. Whenever he was lying about a mean country. And same thing with Brenda Lucky too. It's the same, and for that matter, Bill Blair and the Prime Minister.
I think just the boomers kind of reign supreme in that they get to stay in there as long as they could keep their mouth shut just enough to not expose the corruption. It's a really low bar, and I don't know if being tapped in for something that you did, like an Epstein situation, like with the Clintons or something. I don't think that's really at play here. I think it's just like, can you get the job done enough to just spout a bunch of bullshit and then take the heat? I think that's more what it's like in Canadian politics, and this guy fits the bill.
Hoping to
100%.
canvass your thoughts. Alex said he'd come back to me with a proposal this afternoon when he gets to chat with Ndiciano again, and obviously pending his boss and our interest in looking into this further. And if you could scroll down. And Alex responds, thanks.
Okay, yeah.
I had an initial chat with my boss and he's supportive, but wants to wait a day or two. There's a danger that if we come down too hard, they might push out the crazies.
I love how he puts emphasis on that. So, like, what are they saying here? Who is saying, is that somebody from the office of Trudeau, or is that the office of Mendocino?
It's communication between the prime.
So who's the white then?
I'm trying to remember what their positions are. The white, I believe, is the Prime Minister's office. Or schools.
Okay. So either way, they're not about public safety here. Now they're calling us the crazies. I think that they mean like Jeremy, us in general, like Greater Diagolon, and Pat King. And then there are probably just ostensibly some other people. And all crazy really means is you said something controversial that could be construed as some kind of violent rhetoric or something like considered right-wing in the past. So to them, everything that's just out of the ordinary is crazy. But what they're saying here is they want to use people politically so they could bolster their own agenda.
Yeah,
and they're doing it like they declare us a public safety risk, but they're saying we want to bring the public safety risk closer first. Which is ridiculous.
It's a very interesting, series of texts here for a lot of reasons. One is look at the chain of events that went on to get to this point, because what happened here was Derek goes on a stream, right, and makes a joke. It was a joke. Obviously, he didn't mean for a truck, or want to see a truck run through Parliament. That's a ridiculous,
It was the most casual joke too. Like, oh, you love to see it. Like, just I didn't think much of it. I was like, kind of like, oh, when I saw it being clipped by like Antifa stuff. But still, I was just like, obviously, that's not a credible threat. That's a joke.
But that's it right there. So Derek goes on, he makes whatever. You can call it a bad joke if you want. I thought it was funny. Like, he's joking. He's not serious.
It's such a funny image to be able.
So anyways, Antifa clips it. Antifa clips this joke, right? It was Tony, I think, that clipped this originally, and he puts it out on Twitter. And then Anti-Hate picks it up, and they take it to the media. And don't tell me Anti-Hate didn't take it to the media, because all of a sudden, like within a day of that article coming out, they had interviews on CBC, CTV, Global, like they were all over the place. And funnily enough, this is in the same time frame that Gerald Butts donates $10,000 to anti-hate and offers to match any additional donations. Like, this is all in the same time frame. So are you starting to see the picture that I'm painting here? So it goes through the media, and like this is what you're seeing here.
So this was what, April 24th or 5th?
Sorry?
This was April 24th or 5th, these texts? So that would be midweek after, like, probably right after they started reporting.
January 24th or 5th?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, January 24th or 25th. Like, midweek, shortly, like, maybe like a day or two after they started reporting on Derek's comment, as if it was like a real threat of some sort. So
exactly.
So this is what happened on the Friday night, though. This is before everybody had arrived for the big Saturday morning fiesta that everybody had, like the largest portion of the Freedom Convoy, like the most heavily attended portion of it, right? So this is Evan Balgord from the Canadian Anti-Hate Network, basically doing exactly what they were just describing in that video that we just saw.
Police already should have been acting on some of these individuals a while ago, specifically the ones who've been calling for violence. Pat King, who I mentioned before, who's become one of the most vocal proponents of this, has previously said that, the only solution to, public health measures and vaccines is bullets, right? So we have.
And now this is just Pat King running his mouth in one of his many videos. We don't know how drunk he was or anything else. It's just like he goes, films himself with his phone, and it's just like, off the cuff, ranting, getting mad about Trudeau. As if that's going to be a credible threat, as if he's actually going to plan to do that. And obviously, there was no evidence of Pat King even remotely doing anything like that. So it's obvious that even that one clip that Antifa got of him was just kind of venting, right? And Evan is using that to say that everybody's in danger of, like, what? Pat King going and shooting everybody up? Like, what are you even trying to fucking say here? Like, the guy has one leg. Is he gonna just start, like, shooting his leg off like it's a fucking turd and spinning around like in Planet Terror? I don't know, man. This is a very credible individual here, Evan Faglord of the Canadian Anti-Hate Network.
Who are espousing violence, and then all of a sudden, one day ago himself, individuals like Jeremy McKenzie are all of a sudden saying if there is violence, it's not us, it's some kind of false flag attack.
Okay, so now he's trying to say that, you can't just go take the backsies on wanting to commit violence. It's like Jeremy never wanted to commit violence. You have this narrative in your head saying that he wants a civil war. He said that you guys were trying to start a civil war.
Yeah.
And then you turn that to Jeremy McKenzie wants a race war, which is incredibly different from what he actually said. You just don't like his politics when it comes to your woke stances on race, which are actually anti-white and racist in and of themselves. And Jeremy was calling that out and saying that you and your kind in the government are trying to start a race war with that, or not trying, but you are in fact are doing something to that effect.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
That was exactly the point. This keeps getting confused and conflated, right? What Jeremy has never called for violence. He has said that they're going to make violence inevitable with their actions. And he's not even necessarily implying that it's like him or anybody that's associated with us that's going to do it. He's just pointing out that your actions are going to cause more and more extreme responses, which is true. Like, that's, I don't know why they think, like,
I think that they try to say that these guys, like, somebody like BGB who loves his guns and stuff, and he or Shane who likes a good meme aesthetic of, like, the boog meme aesthetic. And it's just like, yeah, being proud that you're able to defend yourself if something were to happen to you. It does not mean that you want to start a civil war and start hurting people. That's it. That's like an insane and very malicious, manipulative sleight of hand that this absolute weasel here on the screen there is known for. Let's see what else he says.
Months and years of telling their supporters that there's going to be a civil war, or this problem's only solved with bullets, or
Find their enemies. You mean try to figure out which random anti-hate contributors are talking shit so we could potentially sue them, because we have literally no recourse from you putting our names online as Holocaust deniers and as like far-right neo-Nazi racists. And you don't even bother to debunk what we're saying. You just give us these labels so that you could try to get us screwed out of having any gainful employment in the future. Get fucked.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Jeremy's, saying too was not find your enemies. It was find your friends, dickhead. Like,
Good
what
point,
do you
good
mean
point.
find your enemies? His whole thing was like find your people.
I remember watching this with the boys in Ottawa the Friday night before we just got there. I got severely sick, and then I cured myself within 6 hours because I just took all my vitamins again and I drank a bunch of water. And then somebody passes me a beer, I'm like, I'm ready to go, and then this comes on the TV. We're like, fuck Evan Balcourt, fuck you. It's happening.
So are you saying that the convoy cured your COVID? That's a miracle,
Yeah, man.
bro.
Yeah, I was there the whole day, just out and about in the cold. It was no big deal. These people are crying over nothing.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's see what else happened today when it comes to convoy coverage.
And what about this Jeremy McKenzie fella?
Oh, whoa. Jeremy McKenzie, you don't say. All right.
And what about this Jeremy McKenzie fella? Did you ever hear of him seeking that protesters act violently or incite people to commit violent acts?
No.
Did Jeremy McKenzie or any of his followers or veterans that you know of say that they were going to physically and violently overthrow the government of Canada?
None.
All right. And what?
Yeah, that was an easy one. And that is what Evan and Kurt Phillips and the Canadian Anti-Hate Network are trying to say, that, it doesn't matter that Jeremy, as we all have plenty of proof of, saying repeatedly, nobody do anything stupid, and castigating everybody into not being violent, not being stupid, or not even being disrespectful in any way, more than anybody else that I've ever seen at the convoy. And they're trying to just say, no, that doesn't matter at all. He had rhetoric that we think is violent or we think is problematic, so he doesn't get the right to have control of that narrative. That's essentially what they're saying.
Again, it's the same thing with this whole EMA inquiry over and over again, which is they're trying to make the testimony fit the narrative that already exists, as opposed to just letting it organically come out. And so, this is the second, obviously this is the cross-examination of Chris Barber here. It started with, Paul Chump there. And he was trying to do this too. Did you know Jeremy McKenzie? Have you heard of Diagolon? They're trying to draw connections that don't exist.
All right. Okay, here's a harder thing. And this is what the people at Indie would say. What would you say about the people at Coots, though, that got charged into this? Kurt Phillips in the documentary for the Fifth Estate said that, he tried to pull it back and say this and that, but, he inspired the guys at Coots to do that. What would you say to that?
I would inspire them to do what? They were protesting, and then they got accused of conspiracy to commit murder, and none of that has been proven in a court of law. So what do you mean, inspired to do what? What proof do you have that Jeremy inspired these guys? The fact that they had Diagolon patches or that he met with them before? What does that mean? There's no proof here that they've committed any crime yet.
It's very loose connections, and they got one guy that they say had a Diagolon patch on a vest or something, and that was known in the community, and that he was conspiring to commit murder. That is the most insane thing I've heard. Even if there were guns involved, what proof do you have that he was going to murder police officers? That's so uncharacteristic I feel like there's something very weird going on there.
Well, again, too, were any of these weapons found on the people who were arrested? No. They were all found in one trailer. Why were they all found in one trailer? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like.
Sounds like a honeypot of some sort.
Yeah, like it's like you found some evidence and then you made it fit. Like,
yeah. Well, I just wanted to bring that up because I didn't want to just take the easiest points and not rebut the hard points that our enemies have against us, right?
It's a fair question.
Have you ever met or communicated?
Well,
what does that have to do with Jeremy in Ottawa, right? What does that have to do with what happened in Ottawa? There was no communication. Like, it wasn't coordinated.
Well, that's the situation that they're trying to manufacture, I think. And now we have a couple more name drops, and I know one of my good friends who's no longer here with us. Just kidding, he's in the States right now. He got mentioned, and then I have a friend who was not mentioned, and he was actually going to be the replacement for Nathan, Day of the Rake, but then he bailed out after half an hour, so I'm actually glad that he's not one of the top guys here. Fuck you, Shane Marshall. The government doesn't even care enough to ask questions about you anymore. You were so last week. Now, last week, we on my show, we talked about Project Hendon, where the OPP was doing surveillance and making person of interest profiles on a bunch of different bigots, and Shane got one of the biggest profiles.
Yeah.
And it was very funny, very hilarious. But now Ferryman is getting more attention than him, and he's a little bit jealous.
Is he?
Yeah, he's spazzing out a little bit. He's like, what's a bigot got to do to get some recognition? Something
you gotta
like
throw more pebbles, bro. More pebbles.
Right, yeah. Bigger rocks, bro. Bigger rocks. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, no,
Words, not pebbles.
Yeah.
That's what I tell Shane every time I see him.
Have you ever met or communicated with Tyler Russell?
I don't know that name.
I do not know this man.
Or Derek Harrison?
I don't know that name either.
Oh, shit. That's the guy who's in the flying truck. That's gonna burst through the wall.
Have you ever met or communicated with Alex Vriend?
No.
Yo, who is this Alex Vriend that they speak of?
It's funny because Trump there actually said he pronounced it properly, like the actual Dutch pronunciation, but in Canada,
what is the real Dutch pronunciation? Like
it's like vriend. Vriend.
Vriend. Okay. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah. So
and you've already been asked about Mr. McKenzie. Okay.
If I had, like I said, my phone was extremely busy. There's a ton of numbers on that phone that.
Yeah, I'm a popular guy. I don't got time to get back to everybody. What are you saying, man?
Be no contact name with it. There might have been somebody contact me, but not to my knowledge, I should say, right?
What a Chad. Okay. Anyways, that was two of the clips here where they're name dropping us. There was a third one, and it was just like, what about Jeremy? Duh.
I can clear this up for Chris too here. No, we haven't. At least I don't know about Tyler and Derek, but I can tell you, Chris, we have never talked on the phone, in person, online, never. So we're good. Neither have I talked to Mayor Leach or Danny Bulford or Pat King. I've never talked to these people once in my life.
I talked to James Botter. Do you know him?
Yeah.
He's the Canada Unity guy, but he probably doesn't remember. It was on the last day, and then we both had cameras. And he's like, hey, you have cameras? What are you up to? And he was the nicest guy ever. And it was just with his wife, and we just kind of shook hands and joked around. Very wholesome interaction. Now, I don't remember exactly what we said to each other, but
you were plotting insurrection.
Yes, yeah.
It's out in the open. Edgy D and James were planning to overthrow the government with spicy memes and shit posts and edgy jokes.
Well, this was when at the very end of the protests, I think it was the Sunday the Saturday or Sunday at the end of the protests where they contained it all into one square. And then everyone was like, they're going to let us party here all night. And it was just like, woo. It was like a fucking rave. And I was like, okay, this has gone all libertarian. I'm not going to get any good footage. And then I saw them on the way out, and they were super nice people. And then I saw them on the Fifth Estate documentary, and they were trying to make him look insane. Like, they were trying to agitate the James Botter. And then his, like, wife was, like, calming him down, like, honey, no, it's okay. And I was like, don't interrupt him. You're making him look worse by telling him to calm down. Woman moment. Anyways, they were talking shit about you, right? They're saying that you're the insurrectionist, big insurrectionist on campus. This is a video that you posted just recently to clarify. We're not going to play the whole thing.
Ferryman Saul here, reporting live from downtown Ottawa, where the trucks and the honks are taking each other on in a real humdinger here. If you can see behind me here, we've got a nice little road hockey game developing. Surprisingly, amazingly, both teams are winning. The only loser is Justin Trudeau. He can go fuck himself.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the big insurrection. Now, I retweeted this, and then our good buddy Thor of Antifa, who rage doxed, counter-doxed because we're getting fucked with. And now me and him are in a little bit of a tiff back and forth. And then he's saying, you said bouncy castles and then erected right after. What kind of sick freak are you? So then I said, only a pedophile wouldn't make that connection. And he says, I'm not the one wearing the portable glory hole. And then I said, yeah, it's pretty good. He says, just because, and then I said, just because someone is willing to not cover their mouth doesn't mean that they're waiting for a dick to go inside it. Sorry, I know that might be hard for you to imagine. And then Ferryman comes in, he's eating popcorn, he's
watching.
Yeah, he's watching and waiting. And then he goes, you said dick and hard. Why are you obsessed? And I said, because I'm not ashamed of my hard-ass dick. It sounds like you're butthurt that the left has been exposed for enabling pedophilia. I'm not the one who applauds half-naked transsexuals twerking in front of children. And he says, tough for you to applaud with only one hand free. And I said, only a degenerate coomer like you would assume that I'm not participating in No Nut November and harnessing my vril. Go back to your hentai porn, or God knows what's out. God knows what's out. God knows what else. Yeah. And now he hasn't responded since. So I can only assume that he's gone back to his hentai porn. Or his
victory.
God knows what else. So, feds, if you're watching this, this guy has given an admission by omission. He didn't have any response to this. He's probably going back to jerk it to hentai porn or God knows what else. You might want to, do a search warrant on his hard drive or something. Maybe a swatting is in order.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
You're just putting it out there. You're just saying this is all hypothetical, all academic, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just giving the feds the evidence here. Okay. And they could take what they will.
I don't get what these people do with their life. Like, this guy's. There's so many of these fucking losers that just like every time I tweet or do anything, they're like, "What did he say now?" Like, oh, I'm gonna write a little witty comment. Yeah, it's like, dude, get a life. Wait, is this what you do for entertainment? Is like hate is your entertainment, right? You hate me, so you have to respond to everything that we do. Is that what this is?
I think so. They're getting a little bit of a boost on social media. It gives them that dopamine. They're obviously not participating in No Nut November. that cowboy guy, he's like, I just banned 30 accounts. Now here's my reward. And it's just like a frosty nug of weed. And it's just like, ew. This is who you are.
Imagine.
Yuck.
Okay.
Yuck.
Let's just put yourself in this headset. Like, it's very hard to do because it's like absolute, gamma mindset. So let's just.
Right.
Okay. You're a father and you have, I think, a wife, and you're broke because you don't have a fucking job, and your EI is done and they're not going to give you any more. And the welfare checks are drying up. And basically you already had to beg for money just to make it through last month. And you're on Twitter trying to get people banned because of mean mouth words. That's what you're doing with your fucking life? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, that's like serious levels of mental retardation. Like that's the most cuck behavior you could possibly imagine. I'm going to spend my time trying to get people banned from internet platforms while basically I'm on the verge of going homeless and, my kids being taken by the state and my wife leaving me because I'm an incompetent, retard that can't provide. That's wow. Great.
I mean, it speaks for itself, and I feel for the family, and I think it's just a testament to the times that we're living in, that so many people, like, there's people like him, there's people who just abandon their children straight up. There's all these different variations of people who are just so degenerate, and they're just so mind-fucked.
Let's have a little flex for Jeremy here. Jeremy is still providing for his family from prison because he worked for a long time in the military and got a pension, and that sustains his family. Jeremy is doing more to support his family from fucking jail than you are sitting on the couch on fucking Twitter. Like, what a loser. God damn these people.
I just know that if I were a father, the first thing that would be my priority would be my kid and making sure that they have something to eat and that their father's not a loser and is able to provide at least to the best of my ability, and using my time as an asset, other for attention and the other portion to make money, to be able to provide the resources for my child.
Dude, it's like this is a different level of failure, because it's not just like, there's guys that fail and they're trying their hardest, right? Like, they're doing whatever they can for work and they're not making enough and everything's like, that's a noble failure, right? Like, at least you're fucking trying. You're doing your absolute best. Right. You're sitting on the fucking internet, not looking for a job and hoping that CRA or whoever is going to reinstate your EI benefits so that you can make it through next month. What a fucking loser.
What is his kids going to get from him watching and clipping you?
Nothing.
That's the ultimate question right there. Maybe if at least he was getting paid by Anti-Hate to do it, then that would make some sense. But
I suspect in his mind, it's like some kind of noble venture where it's like, I'm creating a better world for my children by bashing the fash on Twitter. Like some kind of shit like that.
Right.
But that's a cope. That's like
a cope. I don't want to spend too much more time talking about the dark and ugly people of the world.
Yeah.
I like to create. People like to snipe what we're doing, and they like to try to deconstruct. I like to deconstruct what's going on in the world, but I think what we're doing is largely productive. It's constructive. I have the EdgeStream. Why don't you make the fucking fag stream, and then we could go at it with each other? But you don't do that. It's when these people make content, it's pathetic. It's abysmal. No one actually watches it. It's just a snitch, tattletale culture that they have amassed, that they use the power of the system to crack down on people that they disagree with, and it's absolutely
their content is our content with commentary. That's their content.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching, people who watch movies or episodes on YouTube, and they just sit there and they're like, haha, funny. Oh yeah. Oh, that's clever. It's like that, but pathetic. Even more so.
Well, with all this bullshit stuff with the public inquiry for the Emergencies Act, I do think that this is ridiculous. Why are we going and looking through all of this as if it was like 9/11 or something?
Or
like
January
only in
6th.
Canada. Oh, January 6th even doesn't deserve this kind of scrutiny.
No.
Obviously, BLM in the summer of love with George Floyd, where 30 people died as the results of these crazy riots that happened after it.
How about a Canadian example here? Remember whenever 60 churches were burned down or vandalized in like a span of a few months? You guys remember that? And they did literally nothing about it? They didn't even look into it.
No, it's not a hate crime. It's a justice crime because the media said that there was thousands of Native kids buried under these schools, which they never actually dug up or looked into beyond just saying that there was abnormalities within the ground. Yeah. That's the extent to the evidence that they provided. And then this was the next biggest genocide that meant that Canadians could not celebrate Canada Day. How pathetic is that? Now, with all this Emergencies Act public inquiry going on, I think that a lot of this is a distraction from what Lee Stewie just posted in her new Substack with the immigration problem, with mass immigration. And she's saying, she crunched the numbers here that says they want 500,000 immigrants per year by 2025. 465,000 in 2023, 485,000 in 2024, 500,000 in 2025. Like, prices for housing have gone way up. Even rentals for just people like me who are renting at this point have like almost doubled in the last 5 years. And they're going to bring in even more, vastly more people per year and act like this is going to improve things. We know that like Indian families will come in and they'll pack into houses and they'll make the living standards of everybody else who's trying to compete with them go down. And yet you have all these fake economists who are shilling for the establishment, who will try to manipulate things to say that, oh, we need more jobs, we need more. No, you need to stop funneling our money out of like the taxpayer's pocket. Stop stifling our own industry over here. Start encouraging people to have more have more children themselves, and incentivize benefits for them to do that. But no, they want to replace us in order to have people who will be obedient and that they can control more easily from the third world. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, we heard when Jeremy and I talked to Paul Minder there, that's basically what he said too, right? Like, this is good for no one. It's good for no one. And like, you know,
a lot of these people are lowering their life quality coming here. Now, yes, there are some probably very few refugees, but economic migrants who are worse off where they were before. But that's because they're getting benefits over here. That's not fair to us. They're treating them better than they are us. And then I live in London, Ontario. You see the homeless population here. It's very pathetic that they're not doing more to help the people that are already here.
Yeah. I mean, the takeaway from this too is, well, first of all, is anybody surprised at this? Like, we've known that they were going to keep doing this. Like, it doesn't, when I heard this news, I wasn't like, are you kidding me? Like, they're still going to go. I was like,
oh, no, this is no surprise, Ferryman. But the thing is, that the point is, I guess I was trying to making the connection from the public inquiry to this is that if they blast you with so many things at once and you're just fighting just to be able to go to a restaurant or to be able to like go on a plane within your own country even, then you have no time to address like the things that we were already addressing hardcore in 2019. So they kind of like usurped the right-wing movement that was trying to prevent mass immigration, so we've had no time and no attention to pay to this. But this has always been going on in the background, and this will be the nail in our coffin. They're boiling this frog slowly, but it will come to fruition that we will be at a point of no return because they'll be able to control populations that they brought in, they gave benefits, and that have messed up the homogeneity. They've made a historical discontinuation of what the demographics were before, be it race, religion, culture, language. All these things matter. And they'll try to say it's like, oh, you're a white supremacist and everybody else is good and about diversity. That's not what is going on. That's the dumbed down version that they're trying to create by canceling free speech. So it's a multi-pronged attack.
That's it's a good take on it for sure.
All right. Well, do you have something that you want to say about that?
No,
I was just about to play. I was just about to play a song, a new remix of Kanye and Piers Morgan in an interview. Have you ever heard of the Remix Bros? They did an amazing remix of Alex Stein in front of city council meetings and stuff. They do great stuff. But anyways, I want to play that, then get into the Kanye stuff. We'll go over that quick, but then we'll get into the feds backdooring Facebook so that they could report whoever they want. And then that'll be like the second hour of the show. All right. Sick. Sounds good. So this is Yeah Boy. Where is it? Hey Boy. Yeah. This is fucking hilarious.
Bro, hey, bro, I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence. Nothing you're saying has anything to do with regret. Hey, boy, don't finish. I told you, I ain't finished. Hey, boy, la 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 la. Hey, bro, la 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 la. Hey, boy, la 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 la. Hey, bro, la la la. I ain't finished my sentence. Hey, boy. My sentence. Hey boy, hey boy, hey boy. I was in the middle of a sentence, boy. You're being a Karen. You're interrupting me now. To it. Oh, and don't treat me like a boy then. I'm a composer, right? And this is a symphony. I'm gonna finish my sentence and my idea. And I'm tired of the left media trying to pick on me. Have we grown? Have we grown? People thought I was gonna cancel myself. Have we grown? Have we grown? I'm not gonna cancel myself. Bro, hey, bro. La 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 means be quiet and let me finish. Hey, boy. La 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 la. I ain't finished my sentence. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. I ain't finished my sentence. Hey, boy.
DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
I didn't say DEFCON on anybody though.
You said basically all of them. Are you sorry you said that? No. You meant it. But yeah, you should be.
Absolutely not.
That is racism.
Thank you for allowing me to say what I meant. La 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 la. There was blood. La 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 la. By Jewish people. La 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 la. Jewish. La 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 la. Please don't ask me any retarded questions. Hey boy. La 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 la. Hey bro, la 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 la. Hey boy, la 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 la. Hey bro, la la la. I ain't finished my sentence. Hey boy, hey boy, hey boy. I ain't finished my sentence. Hey boy, hey boy, hey boy.
Kanye is a gay fish. Throwback to the South Park days.
Yeah.
Right. So what else is Kanye? He's also the reincarnation of Hitler, according to CNN. So exclusive. Kanye West has a disturbing history of admiring Hitler, sources tell. So this is just a bunch of sources. It's like 4 sources say this, 2 sources say that. Bitch! Show your source. Who's your source? Come on. You want to, like, you have protection of the media. Come on. What's your source? Like, are you afraid that Kanye West is going to sue you for saying that? And even then, like, somebody is saying, like, oh, like, literally you have to think. Hitler was a great man of history. Not great in that he was a moral person, but great in that his effect was huge. He affected a lot of people. So, like, what are we talking about here? Are you going to come to terms that maybe the insinuation that you're trying to make, that Kanye thinks that the murder of Jews is good, that maybe that's false? Right? Yeah. So that's why these people are just sources, because they want no consequences for the things that they're saying about people. Yeah. But anyways, apparently he was going to name his part. 4 sources told CNN that West had originally suggested the title Hitler for his 2018 album that eventually was released as Yay. They did not want to be named, citing concerns for professional retribution. Dude, you would get so many good retributions if you put your names out there. I'm sure Ari Emanuel, the guy who told all companies that they need to cut ties with Kanye, and then they did, and he's like he's like the, what do you call it? What's that guy from the Ari Goldberg of Entourage, but in real life?
Yeah.
This guy. Yeah, sure, you would get retribution. Says the retribution from the guy who just lost $2 billion for just speaking his mind. But
it's like,
sorry, go ahead.
I don't understand. The thing I don't understand about this is when he first came out and said things, I was like, oh boy, that's not good. Like, I mean, like, for him, I mean, it's just like, you're gonna get.
No, he's doubling, tripling down. You have to think about this guy's got. So it's like, oh no, Kanye only has $500 million now. Yeah. It's like, how much do you really need? Like, this is fucking amazing. He's really breaking the matrix. So this has almost 200,000 likes. It says, nah, Kanye is hilarious. So this is what he said.
The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
And the thing that's funny about this is, like, beyond just the comedic timing, people were relating it to, like, Michael Scott from The Office, like, in some of his comedic timings and, like, similar jokes that he's made. Yeah. But this is also true in that back in the Soviet Union and in the Stasi era, if you were to do anything that was considered anti-Semitic, they would consider you insane. And they would do things like that. Say you had sluggish schizophrenia, and they'd put you in a gulag or a Stasi prison. And now they're doing this exact kind of, what do you call this? When you pathologization, that's the word. When you say that, oh, somebody said something like this, oh, that must mean that they're crazy. Only a crazy person would say something like this.
Yeah.
And that's one of the tactics that they use to go against people who talk about stuff like this. Same with conspiracy theorists. I was arguing with some people on Facebook about Epstein and stuff, and they just started saying that I have a disorder and I should go get help. And it was nothing but polite, but they're like, oh, you're just like the weird uncle who looks at too many image boards, you have a disorder, you need to go get help. This is the kind of rhetoric that the media gives to these people, that they use against people in their everyday life.
The most dangerous place for a black man today, or black baby, black woman, is in their mother's stomach. And that is a programming that's pushed through. I got a new word for 2024, the red media.
And now, I don't think we need to explain exactly what's going on there, but let's just say that this is a graph that shows who are the CEOs, presidents, vice presidents of all the biggest media companies, and red signifies something that he's pretending not to say right now.
Yeah.
Now, I like this show of force. At least he's providing more statistics now.
Again, they call him crazy. They call him, racist. They call him anti-Semitic. They call him a lot of things. I don't see a lot of people calling him a liar.
Right? Well, they'll take his kids next before they even call him a liar. Yeah. And as you can see here, this title here is Kanye from TMZ. Kanye jeopardizes custody with anti-Semitic rants. And I watched this whole video, and in it, TMZ is discussing how Kim could deny him custody of his own children because of his anti-Semitic so-called comments. And now you have Ye posting on Parler, which he is set up to buy soon. Supposedly, he's set up to buy it from Candace Owens' husband, who I believe is currently the CEO. And he says, on my last and final meeting with Bob Cohen, he told me, if I keep up anti-Semitic rhetoric, you'll lose custody of your children. So let me get this straight. If I complain about Jewish business practices, it's considered anti-Semitic. So my custody lawyer was basically telling me if you complain about getting done wrong in business, you will lose custody of your children. And this guy was on my side.
Yep.
So now his own lawyer is repeating the same thing.
It's like how much that one comedian there nailed this whenever he said like what you guys are doing to you're proving him right here.
Yeah, come on.
Everything you've
Stop
done
exposing the game.
right.
Now, this is really funny. Owen Benjamin is claiming that Kanye called him in the middle of the night and then they had over an hour-long chat. Multiple chats, actually. So let's hear this. I'll let you guys make your own decisions whether you believe Owen or not.
For me has been wildly interesting. This last 24 hours for me has been wildly interesting. Me and Ye together are like such bean spillers. You talk with Dave for real? Rebecca Bear, swear to God I talked to him for an hour. Like I talked to him on the phone yesterday 3 times and he called me at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like my new best buddy. And dude, the dude is like an artistic champion. He's got a really fucking good heart. And you can't just persecute people like that. Smart fucking dude. I'll tell you what, man. That dude is smart. When it comes to engineering and words and the synchronicities were nuts. I'm going to keep a lot of the conversation private. But dude, the dude's awesome, man. He's a great dude. And it's all organic. I was like, yeah, you know, a lot of people don't trust the story because you're a celebrity and it's all scripted. He goes, who's scripting it? God? There's not really that much left to answer.
That sounds like
I just wanted to include you guys on the funny journey. And just let you know that he is authentic. He is just pursuing. He is like one of those algorithmic musical time traveler types like myself. And who knows, I might never hear from him again. Like, when you're dealing with that level of like artistic, flow, I don't know. He may show up tomorrow or I'll never hear from him again.
He's like the magical Ye. Gives you a call in the middle of the night to say, hey, I heard you've been calling out the red media too. Yeah. Let me hear your side of the story.
That would be a crazy, character arc here is Kanye goes to Bertaria and joins Owen Benjamin, creating, Where is he? Idaho? Is he in Idaho?
Yeah, Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name? Before he got the call, Owen made a hilarious meme with him and Kanye picking cotton together. It's like, hey, yo, picking cotton's actually pretty based, yeah. So funny. Owen Benjamin fucking
Owen
kills me.
on Telegram. I didn't see that one. That's
Bean
funny.
Spilla Thrilla 33 or something like that.
Yeah.
He
I
keeps
followed
getting
him
banned
on-
over and over again, but he's worth a follow whenever you can find him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna reiterate, if you guys want to steer the conversation anyway, feel free to donate on Entropy, and as long as it's in line with what we're talking about to some degree, we could dive into that deeper, or if you just want to give it a donation, feel free to do that. Hell yeah. So we're going to get into Facebook letting in backdoors for the Department of Homeland Security and other Fed organizations, basically anybody in the government. Now, this was dropped because of subpoenas, I think from Alabama, probably stuff to do with COVID and shit, I don't know exactly. But this was dropped on The Intercept, so The Intercept was a somewhat good alternative media source. Glenn Greenwald used to work with them, but then they cucked on the Hunter Biden laptop story right before the election, so Glenn Greenwald was just like, fuck these guys. But they're still doing some good shit. This guy Lee Fang co-wrote this story, and he has a good Twitter thread basically explaining what kind of we all know. We all knew that the feds have a backdoor into these social media platforms and that they have a very big say in who gets banned and who doesn't, even though when you think about it, like the government banning people they don't like for misinformation, like what do you think when you hear that, Ferryman?
The government banning people for misinformation?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things come to mind. Ministry of Truth, just Orwell in general. I don't know, Stasi,
it is what it is. Like, transparency to me seems like the best way to go about things. Like, I understand that people can be wrong, people can be right. You could have bad actors. But if you don't present all the data to everybody in full, with full disclosure, very open to everybody, and let everybody analyze the data and come to their own conclusions, that's how you're going to get the best answer. Being secretive is not going to get to the right answer. And obviously, they're absolutely malicious. We're in the midst of a new world order where they're trying to enslave us. So I'm just yelling at a brick wall right now when I say that, and when I'm trying to moralize at them. But we'll see what they say here with how it actually functions, and then maybe we could work around it after knowing exactly what they're doing, right? So it says, docs show that Facebook and Twitter closely collaborating with the Department of Homeland Security, FBI to police disinfo. Plans to expand censorship on topics like withdrawal from Afghanistan, origins of COVID, and info that undermines trust in financial institutions. So there's an FBI agent in communications with Facebook that led to the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story in 2020 over the false allegation that it was disinfo. So purely false allegation, we all know that. It was very clear to everybody when it happened that, like, obviously this is real. This year, she met with Twitter and the Department of Homeland Security to stress that we need immediate infrastructure that is held accountable. Facebook and Twitter created special portals for the government to rapidly request takedowns of content. The portals, along with NGO partners, used to censor a wide range of content. So which NGOs? Is this the ADL? Is this the SPLC? Could it be Anti-Hate in Canada? That would be really bad, knowing what their beliefs are.
Yeah.
including obvious parody accounts and content disagreeing with government pandemic policy. So we'll get into that a little bit later. The emails and documents show collaboration with Department of Homeland Security and private sector. Twitter's Vijay, the brown chick who's a little bit attractive, but I don't know, she's meh. She ain't no MIA. Let's just say that. She was fired by Elon Musk. Woo! Last week, and she met monthly with the Department of Homeland Security to discuss censorship plans. Microsoft execs texted DHS, platforms have got to get comfortable with government. So, well, I mean, yeah, they evolved their mission from countering foreign terror, right? 2001 Patriot Act. Now that Patriot Act, where they took away everyone's civil liberties, has become, domestic terrorists because of January 6th, where literally no one died at the hands of so-called MAGA terrorists. Like some guy, I think, tasered himself in the balls and had a heart attack, and Ashley Babbitt got shot in the neck. Some guy committed suicide later, but how do you know that has anything to do with the so-called insurrection, right? Yeah. So, in the documents here, you see that the DHS planned the Disinfo Governance Board, and from what I remember, they had some loopy ass bitch that everyone made fun of, and they're like, "Seriously, this is your Disinfo Governance Board? Like, really?" And it was just like Nina something. She sucked.
Oh, and Nina Jankowicz.
Yeah. Everyone was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was laughed out of town so hard. Yeah. So, which it later shut down following criticism, right? But the same agenda lives on with the DHS sub-agency CISA, C-I-S-A, which argues disinfo is a threat to American critical infrastructure. And they have plans to focus on MDM, which is misinformation, disinformation, and do I have a drum roll here? Come on, no drum roll. Fuck. And malinformation. Introducing malinformation. Now, what is malinformation? I think that's when you show something that is true, like a video, but you provide no context. So it's just like, I don't know, mal. It's like mal in some way. It's maladapted. It's mal. I don't know. Are we just making up like prefixes to put in front of information? What about uninformation? What is uninformation? Or cis-information? Cis-information is when a cis white male says something, but because they're a cis white male, it's completely disregarded.
What about
because of diversity, right? Exactly. Like
I want to get my own kind of, information. I want fair information.
Fairy
tale information.
Misinformation.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
There we go. Because you are doing satire, but they're gonna say, "Oh, satire is so good because it's like Poe's law." Poe's law is when you don't know whether it's reality or it's like a parody or comedy, because reality has become so retarded that it might as well be parody.
Yeah, so, like you touched on it earlier. You touched on it earlier in this, which is, the Hunter Biden laptop, they didn't want to do it because it was disinformation. They got wiped, right, for disinformation, when in reality it was just legitimate information. How many times have they done that especially in the last 2 years? Or like you can even go further. Remember, or the reverse too, like the Steele dossier. That's totally real information. That was actually disinformation, right? Do you see
what is the Steele dossier?
It was like the Trump Russia collusion shit.
Oh, okay.
Right, so it's like that was fake. That
like
was fake
Pissgate,
news, but what's that?
Like Pissgate, where they said that Russian hookers were peeing all over Trump, and that
Yeah,
like
they were.
he took a shit in the toilet and called it an Obama. That's literally what the story was. I'm not fucking joking. I'm not just being racist and making up shit because it is absolutely hilarious. I didn't make that up, okay?
Okay.
That was the left. That was the left.
The point is, though, that they keep calling things misinformation and disinformation, and then those things end up being true. And then so it's like, well, you punish people for that, and now you're saying that you need to, protect people from misinformation and disinformation better, or that's what you're trying to do. But in reality, you're just controlling information. No need for a prefix attached to it. It's just information.
Right.
So,
yeah. Information is information. It could be wrong. Right.
Yeah.
Well. Anyways, it says DHS official working on disinfo noted during an internal strategy discussion that the agency should use third-party nonprofits as a clearinghouse for information to avoid the appearance of government propaganda. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like the SPLC, the ADL. That sounds like the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, which goes around to every Western country to talk about who the conspiracy theorists and the bigots are, and anti-hate here in Canada. The clearinghouse, to make it seem like the government is not instructing what to do, even though these people have been getting grants from the government. They got $270,000 grant or so a year or two ago. And now they're saying, oh, we don't get any more money from the government. Yeah, because you're trying to create distance to make it seem like you're not an arm of the government. And you are literally cited as an expert in every article by CBC Global News or any other mainstream media outlet that is subsidized by the government.
It's hilarious.
Who are you fooling? You are fucking government hacks.
If I give you $100,000 to go start, whatever, the EdgeStream full time and get it up running, improve all your shit and whatnot, and then that's just seed money, but you don't have to pay it back. And then you go and you do exactly what I paid you to go do, right? But then you turn around and you're like, well, I have nothing to do with this guy. We're not really affiliated. He just gave me
gaslight. I feel like a chick who just got abused by her boyfriend, and now I'm getting gaslit. Oh no!
And then
they're gaslighting me, bro. And
then
no one
on top
cares.
of that, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe the government isn't giving you. Who gave you $10,000 again right before the convoy? Who was that? What was his name? Gerald Butts. Yeah, who's he friends with? Oh, what government was he involved with until he got booted because of a scandal? Yeah, the Liberals. Good friends with Justin Trudeau. That's just wild that you guys got a $10,000 handout from this guy right before the convoy. That's just crazy. I mean, a coincidence, right?
Where's my $10,000 handout?
Yeah. See, if PP really cared about us, he would be giving us $10,000 handouts. But
exactly. Yeah, let's get those. We'll reverse those Diagolon rape dogs or whatever. Karima put in our cartoon there.
Right.
We'll send them elsewhere if he sends us 10K, right? A little bit of an extortion there. So this is from the ADL. So we were talking about how these non-governmental organizations have a back door into the social media platforms. Now, the ADL is one of the most powerful, or is the most powerful censorship organization in all of the West, I would say. Billions of dollars going into this. They were created in order to protect a Jewish businessman when he raped and murdered a young Christian girl named Mary Fagan, and they tried to blame it on two different black guys. They tried to pass on the blame to whoever they could, and they defended themselves well. And it was one of the first times in history, in American history, where there was a high-profile trial where black people got a say in their defense. and they proved themselves innocent. Yet still all this money was poured in to defend this absolute criminal. He got proven guilty, and then he got lynched. Because there was like some kind of what do you call it, appeal, or like they took him from like a death penalty to like life in prison or something. They downgraded the charge somewhat, and then everybody just ran in and they hung him because people were sick of this guy. And they used that as the offspring, as the way to spring off the ADL, which in the future, now they're all about diversity and multiculturalism and attacking white people in this way, right? But throughout the years, they have supported huge mafia gangster organizations, including Meyer Lansky has gotten rewards for them. Meyer Lansky is like one of the biggest mafiosos ever in American history. But anyways, this is who the ADL, this organization that I just described to you, this is who they don't want on social media and who they're threatening Elon Musk, saying that there will be consequences if you let these 5 people back onto social media, because Elon Musk is saying that he's going to let everybody back on, give everybody another chance. So this is very weird. Like, the ADL picked 5 people in this article. They picked white supremacist and former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke, white nationalist Nick Fuentes, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, former Trump advisor and Stephen Bannon. So I guess they made a typographical error there.
Yeah.
And then misogynist Andrew Tate. I kind of want to see if this is a real thing, considering there's a
Trump wasn't on that list?
Was he?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just surprised that he wasn't, if he's not on that list. But yeah.
5 things ADL is watching following Elon Musk buying Twitter. Oh, I guess that they didn't put Trump in there. I thought that they did. No, this is all real.
Yeah.
And it still has the same typographical error. Former Trump advisor and Stephen Bannon. Okay. Interesting. For a $1 billion organization, they're still getting typos. Well, I do want to relate this to what's going on in Canada, because forget what's going on with that. Like, that is, I think Elon Musk is a great development, but here in Canada, they're trying to make our internet like Germany's. Now in Germany, if you've ever seen on Twitter, if someone reports your tweet, they might say, like, you might get a notification saying that this tweet was reported, but under German law. So something to do with German law. Basically, German law has way more stringent restrictions upon free speech. So Twitter, Facebook, all these different social media platforms have a different kind of avenue for things that get reported in Germany. So Germany is way less free speech than the rest of the Western world. And they're trying to make it like that in Canada. And they are going to make it like that because there's a new legislation going around called the Online Harms Bill. Now, they changed it to the Online Safety Act because, they want to make things in more pleasant, happy terms. But basically, how this all started, last year in 2021, there was Bill C-36. And what Bill C-36 was basically just expanding our current hate speech laws to include more things as hate speech, and then bring back Section 13, which meant that anybody could sue anybody else under the Canadian Human Rights Act for hate speech, even if it wasn't against them. Yeah. And then it's just a complete shit show. It was one of the worst laws ever proposed, but it got scrapped because of the election that happened in 2021 in September. And Stephen Guilbeault, despite Bill C-36 was going to get scrapped, he was saying, we're going to push through this online harms bill. And then he was very adamant about, like, we're going to, like, crack down on internet. Just you wait. So then they released this technical paper. And this is what the technical paper in July 31st, 2021 was proposing. So Michael Geist is an expert in Canada on internet law. Very well regarded guy. And he's saying that the government has patched together some of the worst from around the world laws about internet hate speech and takedown laws. So it includes 24-hour takedown requirements that will afford little in the way of due process and will lead to overbroad content removals on even questionable claims, website blocking of internet platforms that won't abide by its content takedown requirements, a regulatory superstructure with massive penalties and inspection powers, hearings that may take place in secret in some instances, and regulatory charges that may result in less choice for consumers as services block the Canadian market. And of course, it has nothing to do with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They don't mention that at all. So this was the original technical paper in which Guilbeault was trying to push through.
Yeah.
And it had all this crazy shit. So what happened is this got put out there, and then there was a huge backlash. And then several hundred different organizations, including people on the left, a lot of people on the left, saying that this was unacceptable. So many things were wrong with this, including giving basic subscriber information upon a whim to CSIS or any other federal agency. So they can just demand, we want all that guy's information to a social media platform, and they just give it.
Yeah.
So all this shit happened, and then there was a feedback. So they had a thing where, like, let's hear some feedback about it. And then there was over 1,000 pages of feedback from people, almost unanimously negative, and they try to hide it. They try to not release it, even though the Trudeau government said that they would always be transparent in their government process. They made up stupid excuses for why they would keep it under wraps. And then eventually this guy, Michael Geist, he got the Freedom of Information request or whatever, and after months of him trying and making blog posts, it finally got through. Now, in the meantime, they released like a summary of it saying, we heard what you said and we agree. But there was so many different things like CBC said that they wanted to make a special situation for journalists being targeted.
Yeah.
So hate speech against journalists. And there was another one like the Ukrainian Congress or something said that they wanted all Russian, pro-Russian content banned or something like that, or to that effect, right? So there's a lot of different things like that, but it was almost unanimously negative against them. So then what they ended up doing was they had a series of 9 workshops throughout the summer of this year. And they had 12 experts, and in it they discussed all these things. And of course there was a lot of pushback, but still in it, guess who was among the 12 people there? The chair of anti-hate, Bernie Farber.
Yeah. And another one too, Amara Marsingat.
Okay, yeah, and he seems to be quite in line with the whole agenda of anti-hate too.
Oh, he is anti-hate. Like, I mean, this is the thing too, right? Is there's like, I don't know, maybe a dozen people surrounding anti-hate that are working in tandem with them, and like, you know, Amar is one, Stephanie Carbon, Candace Tayshalls, Matt Hammond. Like,
Candace Tayshalls is the one who told the MPs in Parliament that Diagolon was a white nationalist militia group who wants to start a bloody race war or something.
Yeah.
And their motto is gonna rope. I don't know. It was some weird contortion of things that they probably heard from anti-hate, but it was completely libelous and like provably defamatory. When are these people going to be held accountable?
Never.
That's an absolute blood libel against us.
But yeah, it's all these people keep cropping up in the same articles if you're paying attention. Like Stephanie Carvin and Amar were quoted with, I think it was Liz in a Rachel Gilmore article, right? Like they're always in the same channels. Stephanie Amar and Kurt Phillips wrote that ISD article on anti-lockdown activity, right, in Canada.
They said that Plaid Army talks about anti-Semitic conspiracies like that of George Soros. Meanwhile, the Open Society Foundation is one of the foundations that are funding the Institute of Strategic Dialogue, which is George Soros.
So is the Bill
Conflict of interest, maybe? It's
bit.
just a conspiracy.
The bigger damning to that was the fact that it was like a few weeks later, Sheila Gunn-Reid broke a story where she basically said that Open Societies Foundation is influencing Canadian immigration policy, right? This is in government documents. And so we were right. Like that's the claim that was being made, is that the Open Societies Foundation is, influencing immigration policy, not only in this country, but in all the Western world. And well, that turned out to be true in the case of Canada. But did they ever admit that they're wrong? No, like because they're smear merchants. Like they don't give a shit about objective truth.
So we're gonna be watching them. We're gonna be exposing them going forward. And yeah, we can't let them get away with these lies. We must bring truth forth.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? They've built this entire. The diagonal, Jenga tower that they've made collapses with just the slightest bit of scrutiny. If anybody just looks into it, just briefly, they'll see like, okay, this is not what they've presented it as, and like whatever. Like I'm not even saying that means necessarily you need to like us or that you need to agree with us. I'm just saying it's pretty clear that the narrative they've shaped around us is simply not true, and I think more and more people are figuring that out, even on the left. Whether it's Karima or, Tammy Roberts or even fucking Dean Blundell, to be honest, as much as he's a piece of shit, like he seems to understand that there is something being done here that is not, up to scratch.
Right. And overall, it's just like we don't need any more hate speech. This is the exact opposite of what we need. We need transparency. We need public debates. Hey, anti-hate, get on the public debate with the people that you're talking about, and we'll duke it out. We'll put all our information up front. You'll put all your information up front. You don't want to do that. You have a strict no platforming policy. You make up all these excuses, but really what you don't want is transparency.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the truth. You don't want the truth to come out through transparency. Transparency is how you get to the truth. Not lies, not manipulation.
They just did this recently to Chanel Fall there, who was running for school board trustee in, I think it was Orleans, so Ottawa, right? And like they ran hit pieces about her and they smeared her, and she didn't win, but like God, they were calling her. They did the same thing they do to us, right? It's like she makes a comment about how she doesn't like this transgender ideology and CRT and other things in schools. And it immediately becomes, well, you're a transphobe. Like, no, I just don't want, 6-year-olds being taught about, the gender unicorn.
Well, they'll just keep on making more enemies in all the wrong places, and it'll be better for us. So that's good to know.
Like, I'm not never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. But yeah, they keep. Eventually, I mean, I see more and more people are aware of who they are and what they're about, and eventually, I mean, it's as simple as. Well, I don't know, actually, if the, conservatives got into power, it's not like they can just cut their funding. I don't know if they'd be a self-sustaining organization at this point, but, I mean, it'd be nice if they were, put on their back foot a little bit more.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Based Pierre Poilievre just cuts all their funding. I don't know. I don't know if he would do that. I don't think he's as in tune as we'd like to maybe believe. If we're gonna
No,
have
I don't
fantasies
think
about
he is
PP.
either. I'm just saying, like, they've had a nice little run here under the Trudeau Liberals. Let's put it that way. They've been very,
for sure. Yeah,
it's created a very nice environment for them.
it's been much too long. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well. Anyways, we have one more topic to get to. Are you down? Or do you have enough time that you want to get to hammer time? Okay. So
right.
Paul Pelosi got attacked with a hammer in his home. Come on, it's funny. It's fucking funny. The whole story is funny, and we're gonna play a little song to get us in the mood, and then we'll be right back, and we'll figure out what the heck happened. Jeez.
I don't think we will, but
no, we won't. But I'll tell everybody what happened. Trust me.
Okay.
And the winner is MC Hammer.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and to hype me? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such. And this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know you can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, you can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit and let them know what's going on like that, like that. Hold on a minute, just don't fall on back. Let them know that you're too much, and this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? You can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell, school is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song or rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now. They know. You talk about the hammer, you're talking about a show that's hyped and tight. Singles are sweating so fast, them a white or a tape. To learn what it's gonna take in the 90s to burn the charts. Legit. Either work hard or you might as well quit. That's word because you know you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down.
Right in Paul Pelosi's head. Poor guy, man. He's like an 82-year-old, and he's getting that kind of cranial damage.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So yeah,
story.
it's quite the story. I'm just gonna add an addendum to what we were talking about before. Basically, anti-hate is trying to position themselves in these new anti-hate laws or these new online safety act laws as people who have expertise and they know who to go after. They're gonna say that, oh, you can't just know the exact context and situation of everybody that's posting. So listen to us because we know who the hate speechers are. That's what they're trying to do. 100% can't happen. Anybody with the SPLC, ADL, anti-hate, any of these kind of people, they're far left. You cannot let them take free speech away from you. Anyways, who hit Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer? I don't know. It's a guy named David DePappy. Yeah, David DePappy, apparently. Now, this is an interesting story. Now, I don't know. It's full of misinformation, disinformation, information. It's got it all, man.
Does it have malinformation?
Maybe. I don't even know what malinformation is. Like, I don't know how to process malinformation when I see it.
Does it have any uninformation?
Does it have any... Uninformation is when it's like you take it back, kind of. I haven't really thought about unformation. It's like takey backsies, right? Now, in Ferrymation, this is not that. In Ferrymation, I know very well. I know a fairy tale when I see it.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I have a near perfect streak record every time I play the game. Okay.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna have to put this to the test and get you on for Friday on the
Okay,
Rangecast,
okay,
and you can play
let's
live,
do it.
and I can see for myself if that's true.
Let's do it. Do I have a media ban though, that I can't look at media because you know that I be lurking?
No, you can look. That's part of Fact or Fairy Tale, man. We discussed this with Uncle Hack, played with us on Friday, and you know, if you know something's real because you saw it, that just means you're paying attention.
I have a good sense of smell, fairy. I can smell a fairy tale when I see one. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
okay.
see.
Okay. I'll at least get in the 80 in the top percentile. You know.
Greg Wycliffe did. I think he got. It was something like 8 out of 9 or something. So
is
he
that
got the
is that the record?
It's. I don't know if I know some people have done perfect before on some of them, but that was the high score of the guests that we've had since we've been doing Rantscast. We've only had 2 guests though to play it.
I know I've given you a few like submissions that you use, including the polyamorous duck.
Yeah, that was a great one. Oh man. It's weird though because there's this reverse effect though where it's like when something is so fucking crazy, it's like, you know, Greg Wycliffe was good at spotting these. He's like, that's just too insane. You can't have made this up. It's like you know what I mean? It's like
I have good senses when it comes to something like that people fall for, and then it becomes like a Snopes or one of those kinds of fact check things where it's just like, you know, it says Trudeau said we're going to eliminate all the whites or something.
Yeah.
But it says it in a polite way, and I'm like, he didn't actually say that, or else I would have heard of it already.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe he did say it, and it was, like, off the record, and somebody reported it, and then it, like, got around but there's no official record of it, and I could point that out right away, you know. And some people are like, just let go, man. He probably thinks that anyways. And I'm like, no, I have to get it right. We need integrity.
We'll
integrity
put
cock.
on Friday then.
Okay, yeah. Well, we have Paul Pelosi, and I believe he was attacked by none other than T.J. Miller is not looking so good after Deadpool. You know that T.J. Miller is now talking shit about Ryan Reynolds? He's like he's had like multiple arrests. Like he declared a bomb threat on a train or something. Yeah. Oh yeah, T.J. Miller? You know who T.J. Miller is, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy in Deadpool who's like the guy that you know, that Deadpool goes. Yeah, the bartender, and he looks like T.J. Miller, and he has the same aura because T.J. Miller is going insane. He's talking shit about Ryan Reynolds now too, after multiple criminal incidences. But let's just read what's going on to get some context. It says David DePappy, the 42-year-old illegal immigrant from Canada, as if that matters. It's like, okay, whatever. Oh, he's from Canada. Oh, so scary. Well, illegal immigrant in that he's living in a fucking hippie bus with a bunch of nudists. So that is the part of the legal immigrant that is like, whoa, okay, so actually this is bad. But he's accused of breaking into the home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi last week and attacking her husband with a hammer, allegedly wanted to hold the congresswoman hostage and threatened to break her kneecaps if he caught her lying, according to court documents. San Fran police arrived at the home and encountered Paul Pelosi, 82 years old, and DePappy struggling over a hammer. So they're apparently struggling, one hand each on a hammer, and then DePappy has one hand on on Pelosi's arm, Paul Pelosi. And the officers ordered them to drop the weapon. DePappy allegedly seized control of it and swung it into Pelosi's skull twice. Now, apparently, when the police came, somebody opened the door. So Politico reported that basically a third person opened the door And then that's what the police saw when they came in. So that's where things start to get fucky, and everyone's like, oh, what's going on? A third person opened the door? And then police recovered zip ties in Pelosi's bedroom, found glass broken at the rear of the house, tape, rope, gloves, and a journal, according to the FBI affidavit. So this is where we're getting into the backdoor bandits. That's the name of the stream. Backdoor, you get backdoor into social media. This guy literally broke into the back door of the Pelosi residence.
Allegedly.
But also, was he breaking into that back door of old Mr. Pelosi? I don't know. That's what some people are alleging. That's what some people are claiming on the social meds.
Yeah.
So the intruder showed up in his bedroom around 2:30 a.m., demanding to talk to Nancy. So this has been a big thing in the media where they're saying, the mainstream is saying, this is like MAGA talk, a guy who went insane because of MAGA rhetoric. He's saying, I want to talk to, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? And apparently people were saying that during January 6th. So they're trying to relate that to that, like, where's Nancy? Where? That sounds awesome. It's like a horror movie of like...
Yeah.
I would want to do anything I could to not find Nancy. Like, Nancy is the horror movie. That's like Chucky to me.
Oh, but you fact to her picture in the bathing suit. Come on.
She does have some gigantic titties, but that one was a joke. I post on my Instagram, like, try not to coom challenge, day 1, failed. And it was just Nancy Pelosi. Okay, maybe I need to show you some...
Oh, okay. Are we gonna do this?
Well, it'll literally take 2 seconds. Try not to coom challenge part 1. Failed immediately. And it's just the most liver-spotted, gigantic nukers. So this is strike 1 against Paul Pelosi being a butt bandit. When you have tits that gigantic, that's basically a butt right there. So even if he was gay, he still has a butt that he could... Okay, let's just get back to the facts. This is going off the rails. Pelosi stated that his wife would not be home for several days and that DePappy reiterated that he would wait. Okay, so apparently they were just chilling there, but the phone call said something different. So apparently on the phone call, here I have it right here, Paul Pelosi describes him as a friend.
Northern 4-car, 8 priority 910, 2640 Broadway, cross of Scott and Normandy. 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. Is a friend? RP sounded somewhat confused.
So people are saying, like, he's speaking in code, but you know what this makes me think? That this guy is literally out of his mind, and he's like, I'll let you go to the washroom. But, like, we're friends, right? We're friends. No, just wait with me. I just want to talk to Nancy. Where's Nancy? He's like, okay. No, he says he's a friend, but, like, get here quick. You know, get here quick. So far, that doesn't seem off. That doesn't seem that off to me at this point. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, yeah.
Like, he's so spooked about this guy, and he's like, I'm just a friend. Something along those lines. However, there is this Harmeet Dillon, who's like a friend of Fox News and stuff. She's like a big deal. She says, my firm served a lawsuit against Paul Pelosi one time in San Francisco after attempting to serve at other residences. They weren't home, but staff were, and multiple law enforcement were on the perimeter. Break-in is odd given this level of security. So she's saying, yeah, like, why? How would they be able to break in? Now, let's see where the backdoor bandit broke in. There it is. the backdoor bandit breaking into that area there.
The glass is clearly broken from the inside, though, bro.
I had no idea, but wow. God damn.
Look at the glass.
I did not even think of that. I think you might be on it. I think
Get
this to Tucker. Get this to Tucker now, man. You didn't
it's
say
already been pointed out by a lot of people that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's the glass is broken from the inside.
I have not heard that yet. That is pretty mind-blowing, though. Well, this is what Tucker had to say about it. Benny Johnson compiled this in a 45-second clip.
Highly unsurprising thing about David DePappy. He's also an illegal alien. Today, Fox's Bill Malugin learned that DePappy, who is originally from Canada, has long overstayed his visa, so he is currently in this country illegally. So to restate, the perpetrator in this violent crime against Paul Pelosi is a mentally ill, drug-addicted, illegal alien nudist.
Yeah, apparently he lives... Okay, yeah, he is like a prominent nudist. Like, it's not just one thing. He's known by all his family and friends saying that he's extremely mentally ill and that he's a hardcore drug-abusing nudist. They're all unanimous on that.
Who takes hallucinogens and lives in a hippie school bus in Berkeley with a BLM banner and a pride flag out front. So take those uncontested facts and let them rattle around your brain for a moment until a recognizable pattern emerges. What does this sound like to you? If you guessed, this is obviously a textbook case of homegrown right-wing extremism, well then obviously you've been watching a lot of cable news today.
Okay, now I'm going to add on to that. So, I saw one of Kurt Phillips' threads from Anti-Hate, right? And he has all these screenshots from what is supposedly his blog. And then I watched Tucker's, one of Tucker's shows that was like longer, that expanded upon it more. And he was saying that there's not really any provable evidence that this website even existed that was supposedly his blog that had all these QAnon and, supposedly anti-Semitic and other kind of anti-COVID or whatever other kind of posts. So maybe that blog is legit. I thought at first it was, but after hearing what Tucker said about it, I think maybe it could be manufactured, and it's like, that would mean that there's an extreme psyop going on. So that's an interesting implication. I would probably lean toward this, that the blog was real and he went from like being all new age drugged out hippie to like new age drugged out hippie QAnon shit. And now his mental illness just extended to thinking that he should go and do whatever he did, right? But I don't know. There's a lot of conflicting evidence here. What do you think?
I think
what is there to think?
I think this is pretty simple here. If we want to know what happened, release the police body cam footage, release the homes. Are you telling me that the Pelosi's, okay, let's just put this in perspective here. Nancy Pelosi is second in line to the presidency after Kamala Harris. She's the third highest ranking politician in the United States. You're telling me that her home doesn't have security cameras, and a lot of them. Bullshit. This was obviously on camera. So, like, if they have the smoking gun evidence, why don't they release it?
Do you think that they have some excuses like, if we release the video footage, then people are gonna see the inside of the house and they're gonna be able to plan other attacks? I'm just trying to give...
That doesn't... You don't necessarily have to release it to the public. You can release it to, say, I don't know, do the police have this evidence? Like, who has this evidence? Is it going to be submitted in evidence in a trial? Because if it goes to a trial, then, people are going to be... A jury's going to be able to witness it. So, there's certain people that can see it to confirm what happened without showing the entire world, right? So, and then again, the body cam footage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The original 911 dispatch, like not the clip that we heard, the call. Who made the call? Was it
Right,
actually
Paul. Oh
Pelosi?
yeah, Paul Pelosi in the washroom going, "My friend here." Right, that would be
Yeah, like
fucking epic to hear.
like let's hear that. Like, how did he get in? That glass was not broken from the outside, so like if he did
Anybody
get in,
could smash a piece of glass. That's true. Yeah.
there's no security. Like there was no security on the property. Who was the third party?
Right.
Like there's so many things about this. Like again, it doesn't really matter what happened.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think? That I think that Paul Pelosi was cruising around for some men. He went to a bar, and then he picked up this guy, and then he brought him in. They were getting drunk, doing some drugs, probably some adrenochrome. They were having gay sex, and then they brought out the hammer. And then these sick fucks, you know what they get up to when they're doing their thing. You've seen House of Cards. You know about Pizzagate.
Yeah.
Paul Pelosi asked this guy to start sodomizing him with the hammer. And that's what they were doing. And then they just had some disagreement about it. They got too hopped up on drugs. One thing leads to another, and then Paul Pelosi has a hammer in his skull. What are you going to do? You going to charge me $1 trillion? It's my opinion, okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
An edgelord can dream.
But this is the problem right there, man. Everybody's putting out their own theory about what happened. And the real problem here is that particularly the left, right, the Democrats, but both sides, to be frank, tried to immediately spin this in their favor as opposed to trying to, calmly get to some kind of objective truth about this, what actually happened, who this guy was, all these things. So it's like, the thing that makes it very hard to believe, like the official, narrative here, the story, is that it has great political implications for the Democrats. They're going to use it to smear MAGA Republicans. They're going to, heading right into the midterms. It's like, did something go terribly wrong? And then some smart, person in the background was just like, we can use this.
Well, I do have an opinion about that. It is very weird that this guy has a background of both left and right. Like his home is covered in BLM and pride shit. Yeah. He is he supposedly has a blog where it's all, far right, very conspiratorial stuff. In some cases, from some of the stuff I saw, it's just like, okay, well, he's probably onto something with a lot of these things, but who knows if this is actually him, though, right? And it seems like it has both sides ready to go down each other's throats. So I think maybe that is the psyop, if there is a psyop here.
There's another piece to this too, which is interesting. I don't know if you've seen this photo, but it's a comparison between the suspect and a photograph of a cameraman on January 6th. And they look very, very similar, as in identical. So it's odd that this guy was probably at January 6th. For what? I don't know, but.
This guy, yeah, this is in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So I thought that was actually him.
I think it is him. It looks like him. I mean, I don't know if there's any way you can prove this, but
I mean it's almost physiognomically.
The hairline, the nose, the eyebrows, like the face.
I don't know if you could get more of a match than that.
Yeah, it looks like it must be him. Why was he at January 6th filming?
Even us just saying this makes us the conspiracy theorists, and we're falling deeper into the official misinformation hole. So we're just digging our own graves, are we? Okay, well.
I don't know. Why? I'm not drawing any conclusions from this. I'm just saying, like, that's interesting. Is it not?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. Maybe he is a MAGA Republican. A crazy one, but.
Do you remember, or have you heard of the Cass Sunstein thesis? Where basically right around the end of the Obama era, one of Obama's top legal advisor, Cass Sunstein, wrote a paper saying that in order to deal with conspiracy theorists, we can't just shut them down outright. That's not the best way to go about it. But we need to infect and inject our own misdirecting narratives into their conspiracy circles. So perhaps it could be just them giving slight false information, like there's a third person who opened the door, and Politico says that. Now all the people go crazy with conspiracy theories. It could be anywhere down the line when something that happens. They could have manufactured it from the beginning, or they could add something to it after. Either way, as long as they control the narrative and they misdirect it into somewhere where people could get into trouble, or that it just leads into some direction where justice isn't served and the truth isn't found. That's basically the thesis of it.
Maybe the problem with that.
And also the Sustain, the thesis also said that you shouldn't get government to do things. You should get third-party NGOs to do things. And that has been a common theme throughout this show, including with the Department of Homeland Security getting backdoors into social media platforms, saying that, we need third-party platforms. In the Emergencies Act with the public inquiry, our own Canadian government talking that we should get the third-party non-GOs to do everything.
Yeah, I think part of the problem, though, with that in this instance is that how does muddying the waters here benefit them? Because immediately the story they put out, because there was all this additional information, just because, like, most people don't believe the official story, right? I've even seen takes from the left, like, this does not add up. So how does that help them in this situation? If they're trying to present it as one thing, how does making things more confused and complicated, it just makes people distrust them?
Well, I think that there's 1,000,001 ways that you could do things. I don't know what's going on with this. Like, what if you were to just take a guess, what do you think is likely that happened? I'm just going to think about it right now. I said my funny version of it, where I think they sodomized each other with hammers because they're all gay, adrenochrome-using freaks. But,
I think you're probably on the right track here.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay, joking. Yeah, fuck it.
I don't know.
What is there even to say?
I don't know about the whole asking him to sodomize him with a hammer thing, but something like I think that he was almost for sure a guest in this situation,
right?
That because it doesn't make sense that he would be able to walk onto a property that obviously has security cameras, probably burglar alarms, some security system. Like you would assume, how could there not be? It's like I said, the third in command. Right?
Maybe he was like an MK Ultra type or some kind of agent for them. And they're like, okay, so we're going to discuss what you're going to do. And then all of a sudden he's like, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take you hostage with a hammer.
Who fucking knows? But what I think that's an important take here is that it doesn't seem like he broke in. That seems absurd that he would be able to do that. And then there's other things too. Like look at the picture of the glass. But does that make sense for a break-in that you would break the glass out? Like what do you mean a break-in?
I did not even think of that, but that is definitely something. I don't feel like I need to take in any more of this situation. But
this is my point.
We gotta wait.
Just fucking release the body cam footage or the security video and like show people what happened, and then they'll believe you if you're telling the truth, or they're gonna have a lot more questions for you if you're not.
All I'm gonna say is it's gonna be fucking awesome if they release it. I want to see the hammer. Okay, I personally have seen 3 Guys, 1 Hammer, so I'm hoping that. Do you know what 3 Guys, 1 Hammer is?
No.
It's an infamous video to the tune. Okay,
Do I want to know?
No, you don't.
Okay.
I got in trouble at school for playing it on a school computer, and then the computer shut down. Basically, a serial killer somewhere in I think it was in Ukraine. He killed 20 or 25 people with a hammer, and then it was like a snuff film online. And then basically it was like one of those 2 girls, 1 cup, 4 girls, 1, one of those kind of things, like 3 guys, 1 hammer. It was like one of those videos where like, you need to, if you're a tough guy, you need to watch this or something, if you can handle it or something. So, I don't know how many guys were in there and how many hammers. Release the footage. Edgy D wants to know.
I think everybody wants to know. I think that they're obviously not telling the whole truth. There's something going on here that's not being forthright.
You know what they do? They lie. They confuse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at?
I know what you're getting at.
I think that we're about wrapping up this stream. First, I have to. I'm about to play you a song that I had in mind there. But first, I want to read some super chats. Thank you, Mika Shrednick, for a massive $25 donation on Entropy. Thank you so much. Saying keep it up, Edgy. Throwing up some slashes. Hell yeah. Cheers from BC. Well, thank you very much, Mika. And we have Boiling Frog with a super chat saying IDF Unit 8200 has infiltrated most of big tech companies in management positions, and of course, they're hitting their own as the red media has done, it seems. So I guess he's talking about Unit 8200, one of the top Israeli tech outfits that is conducting espionage efforts online, and they're collecting everybody's information in cloud storage, and there's a lot of sketchy things going on with that, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that Israel and the people who are involved with the central bank, Rothschild banking, and big tech have backdoors into most of the technology that we have. They don't necessarily use it in every situation, but they will use it when they can. So if you are talking on your cell phone or messaging people on your cell phone in a way that you don't want to get compromised, ultimately, you got to be wary that they probably do have a way to get to it. So thank you, Boiling Frog, for bringing that up. Yeah, you guys got to be safe out there.
Exchange your potato recipes in person.
Exactly. If you're going to can, turn off your phones, because canning fruits is now illegal. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. 2 hammers, 1 cup. 3 guys, 4 hammers. So I made you very uncomfortable, Ferry, there. You didn't know where I was going with that. But, the chat likes it.
All right.
Come on.
Well, Derek likes to do this shit to me, too. He just springs stuff on me. Like, all of a
You're
sudden
so
I'm watching
shook. You just don't want to be involved in the next rape scandal. It's okay, Ferry. Edgy D has got your back. We are anti-rape, anti-murder, anti-violence. Pro-edgy, though.
Pro-edgy, yeah.
Pro-edgy.
I just need, trigger warnings? I need a mask warning. So I can put my mask on.
Oh, yes. You just don't want to be the face of another...
Right.
You don't want to be the CEO of rape again.
CEO of rape.
I understand. Well, anyways, they lie, confuse. Let me get this song up. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you, Ferryman, for coming on.
Yeah, man. Pleasure as always.
Fuck all the co-hosts that bailed on me. No, just kidding. I love you, Nathan. I'll have you on soon as you're able to. Fuck you, Shane, though. You're not a top guy anymore. You weren't even mentioned at the public inquiry. I still love you, though. You're more of a middle guy, not a top guy. You're not like Alex Vriend.
There's still time. He could get mentioned.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe Rage will give him a shout out. We won't
Also,
know.
you're kind of talking a lot of shit for somebody who also was not mentioned. Just gonna say.
I'm just mad that like he said he was gonna come here and then he didn't. And then he's like an hour later he's like, oh, actually I can't make it. I'm like, fuck you, Shane.
Well, what are you doing? Playing touch button, smoking joints? What is he doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Playing touch. He's not doing no nothing.
News tonight.
Yeah. Shane, put it away. Put it away. Hands up, don't jerk. Hands up, don't jerk. Hands up, don't jerk. That's like the new, like, fuck George Floyd and fuck Michael Brown. It's hands up, don't jerk.
Yeah. Remember, Diagolon, don't jerk off this November.
Yes. Arms up. Take your hand that you would normally jerk with and do a dag salute.
I'm lefty.
And anytime you have an urge, just go pro patria or death to Stalin. One of the many sayings, okay?
Yeah.
And here is Greg's new song. We're going to leave you off with this. It's fucking fantastic. One of the best music videos and songs. I just have it stuck in my head. I have this song on repeat. Fucking amazing. All right. See you guys later. Thank you for coming out.
At 11. News tonight at 11.
Cause you lie, persuade, confuse, can't think about it. I could die tonight. Bright lights will hide it. Take my time, control my mind in time. I can't even trust my own eyes. Watching you, you're so friendly, you know what to do. You got the nicest hair, and I see you there, and I can tell that you care. You know everything, and you make me feel safe. You know what it is, you know what it is, you know everything. And then they lie, persuade, confuse, can't think about it. I could die tonight, bright lights will hide it. Take my time, control my mind in time. I can't even trust my own eyes. Study said, the experts claim the world will never be the same. The research shows, the study proves. Trust the experts. This is false, it's misunderstood. It's been debunked. This isn't good. It's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. It's all your fault. And then they lie, persuade, confuse, can't think about it. I could die tonight, bright lights will hide it. Take my time.